Okay, everyone, the official time is 6:30, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. The Runnemede Board of Education meeting is called to order. The Board of Education is in compliance with Chapter 231 Public Laws of 1975 entitled Open Public Meetings Act. The time, date, and location of this meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect as well as posting notices in the Borough Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Mary Bolt School, Alien Bingham School, Grace County School, and the Runnemede Public School District West Side. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Ms. Beebe, Ms. Davey, Ms. Davidson, Mr. Lego, Ms. O'Brien,
Here.
Ms. Panzarella,
Here.
Ms. Warner,
Here.
Ms. Dams,
Here.
Ms. Spalding. We have a quorum. Also present, Mr. Iannucci, Superintendent, Sean McCarron, myself, Jay Yazzie, Principal of Bingham and Downey, Steve Keeley, Principal of Bowles, Steve Maloney, Vice Principal of Bowles, Gladys Hubbard, Director of Special Education, and Frank Hines, Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds. At this time, I need a motion and a second for the regular meeting minutes of November 19th, 2025. Motion made by Maria Panzarella, second by Lindsay Davey. Any question? Roll call, Ms. Davey?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Sams?
Yes.
Motion passes. At this time, the presentation we have this evening is the overview of the AGFR, which is the annual financial report and audit presented by our auditors from Neidlinger, Calavita, and Volpa. A synopsis of that has been given to each of the board members. Based on the audit, just so everyone's aware, under our excess surplus, we have $150,000. Now, as you know, when we have excess surplus, we have to have excess surplus in order when we balance the upcoming budget. That's a direct number that we then pull into the budget for that piece. At the end of June, you approved for us to take excess surplus and move that money into capital reserves and maintenance reserves. We then use that money to do upgrades throughout the district and ensure that when we have emergencies, we have areas that we are able to pull that money from. I always give the example because maintenance reserves, after the budget is approved in April, maintenance reserves is the only place through board action are we actually able to pull money from. So during COVID, when we had to open up all the dampers and things like that, the 4th and 5th grade wing, we had mold issues because of air coming in and moisture in the classrooms. The only way we were able to resolve that as quickly as we did was because we were able to pull money in and handle that immediately. So it's important that we have those reserve accounts to lean on. Capital reserves, that's in order for us to do large projects. So when you see different projects going on, and it's Frank's favorite time of year, summertime, when we have all that opportunity of 10 weeks to get as much done as possible, that's all coming from capital reserves. So when we ended the year, what happens is we are putting 1.1 million into capital reserves, and we're taking 200,000 and putting that back into maintenance reserves. That's as of June 30th. As of July 1st, we're already moving that money out, and we've already spent the amount of money that was approved in our budget for our July 1 budget, and we already pulled in 200,000 for maintenance reserves that was already put back in. So it's a June 29th to July 30th, and then everything comes in July 1st. I want to say that the audit, I want to thank everyone in all of the offices. So I mean, I always like to thank the business office for dealing with the auditors, answering all of their questions, making sure everything was done, every I was dotted, T was crossed. I want to thank all of our school offices for all of their hard work because the audit extends out into all of our school offices. There were no recommendations or findings. There were no written recommendations and findings, and there were no verbal recommendations and findings. Many times they will come out with certain things on certain areas if they're able to find that. So that encompasses food service, that encompasses before and after care, making sure sometimes we had more than 3 months funding. In this case, we did not have any of those things. We had exactly 3 months operation budget, and going from there. The one thing I will say is that food service was running more in the black, and we were running more in the red last year. So while we still ended in a positive, we ended up spending more money in food service. And the reason for that is due to the fact of increased costs for supplies and food. And once as a district you set your dollar amount that you are charging for meals, you cannot change it. So that's why this past year when we changed, when it was recommended to the board that we increase our food service costs, that was to ensure the fact that we would be able to stay in the positive. Food service and before and after care are run completely as what they call enterprise accounts, meaning it is not funded at all by the taxpayers. It is 100% run as a business by itself. Now, many school districts, you will see that they will borrow from the school budget and from taxpayer funding to support the starting point of the food service account, because they don't have enough money for payroll. They don't have enough money to get initial supplies and things like that. We have not had to do that. So I just want to make sure that that is extremely clear to everyone as I go over that. Does anyone have any questions on the audit? And this is under presentations because we are required to do this for the Department of Education and show that once we receive our audit, that it has been presented to the board.
I don't have a question, but I'll say it again. Props to your office, the school offices, and every office, because it is very rare to have an audit.
It's very rare to also not have comments. I was expecting more comments, or at least some verbals of some sort, simply because they have to look for,
Their job is to
for things, is to look for things and to provide recommendation. So at this point, that's where that has landed.
It's amazing, and it shows that the right people are in the right places.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no questions, I'm going to move on to recognition of citizens, public comments on agenda items only. The public is reminded that they should attempt to resolve problems or complaints through initial contact with staff member or members involved therein and the chief school administrator prior to petitioning the Board of Education. Complaints should only be brought to the board after the appropriate school staff has had a reasonable opportunity to resolve the problem at the employee level. Statements should be limited to the topics to be addressed on the published agenda and limited in length to 3 minutes. The board president will recognize those individuals in the audience who wish to comment on any action items on this agenda. Please respect the following procedures. Be recognized by the board president. State your full name and address. Identify the resolution and item number on which you wish to comment. Wait to be recognized before you make your comment, and limit your comments to specific resolution or items. Limit your comment to 3 minutes per person. Do we have any comments on agenda items? Seeing none, Mr. Iannucci.
All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for coming. Enrollment's still steady as it was last month. Security drills, I want to thank the principals for conducting them in the winter months. They're a little more challenging because of the weather. There's different things that we can do, so we don't have to bring kids out in snowstorms or things like that, but they do a nice job. We do report those to families as well when they're finished. As far as, I wrote this report last week, winter preparedness measures. Frank, thanks to your crew, I know Sunday's storm kind of left us with some challenges because one of our salt spreaders had a little glitch with a piece of equipment, so they were doing it the old-fashioned way. They did a great job doing this crew on Sunday. I did have an opportunity to speak to the mayor, Frank, as well as some other people in town on Sunday. That's when we made the decision to open on time. The roads for Runnemede, I will say, in the last couple of years haven't always been great, not the fashionable one, but they were a lot better than, it's never going to be perfect. I can't force people to go through the sidewalks. For the most part, we didn't have any issues reported. I actually had a parent at Bingham thank me for everything on time on Monday morning. I almost fell over when they told me that. So it was good. But normally, we try to get ahead of things for delayed openings or closing school or even early dismissals if that's the last thing we want to do because it's more of a challenge. But we did feel we were comfortable opening up. We do control our transportation. And the high school is a little different because they have students striving to get to school as well. We do try to take our staff into consideration as well, try to give them as much time as we can possible. So that's why we made the decision to open, but that could change next time. Depending on when the storm is. Lucky for us, it was a little bit earlier than on Sunday it ended. We were able to get that in. So Frank, thank you to everybody, all your people, and everybody coming in for that. Mid-year budget review comes up in January. January 6th, correct? I'm right on the date on that? Yes. So we'll give you a report, probably not in January, because our meeting is the January 5th. So we'll give you something at our next meeting. I want to thank the music program at Bolts. Put a great show on December 4th, I believe it was. Had a chance to see that. It's standing room only once again, so it's always good. Thank you for allow us to use their facility. Somebody asked me why can't we do it in the place. I said if we did that, that would have been you know, you'd have half a person ticket to invite because we don't have enough room for people. There's a lot of kids involved, so that's why they do a great job with that. Holiday committee, I know they've been organizing baskets and gifts. I want to thank all members of the holiday committee for that. Getting this out to parents who contributed. Thank you. I believe they're going out at the end of this week, early next week. Extracurricular are going strong. I know Miss Yezi, where's Miss Yezi? Over there. She's got a couple events coming up, and I'll let the board know probably at the end of the week. In January, you have your community event, January 15th, I believe, Miss Yezi, at 5 o'clock.
5 to 6:30.
5 to 6:30. I'll give you more information on that. She's got a lot of vendors coming out, a lot of great things to expose children to, you know, regarding career events and things like that. Right? You get some
Activities.
different activities that could be,
Activities
you know,
participated.
it's not a career fair, but it's good for kids to, you know, see some of those things.
I got a
you know.
job for you.
Well, they might. Hey, you know what? We can't find people.
No.
So it might not be a bad idea. So I want to thank you for that. You also have a dance coming up in January as well. She'll post some more stuff on that. Negotiations committee, we'll be meeting with the REA coming up in January. What is it?
13th.
Yeah, lots of dates coming up in my mind.
Lots of numbers.
A lot of dates, a lot of numbers. So we'll kind of give you updates as we go along with that. And then our reorg meeting is scheduled for January 5th at 6:30. If you have any questions before that, you know how to contact me, so please do. If you have any questions, wish everybody a happy holiday, and we'll see you in January.
Thank you. Okay, so for the business office, as Mr. Iannucci said, we have the mid-year budget review. We are actually had our meeting today with the Camden County business officials and kind of get updates on certain things. I just want to keep you updated in terms of federal grants. So while our federal grants are getting approved and we're actually able to submit for reimbursements, which go all the way back to July, we're supposed to be submitting on a monthly basis. So if you look at, you know, our budget, when you look at our financials, you'll see that some of our 20 accounts are going to be in the red. So while we have the money in the bank, we are not receiving the money from the state. The state has the money and has to release those funds. So there's no district in Camden County at this point who has received funds released. They've submitted the claims for reimbursement, but that has not been released from the state, so we're waiting to receive that. In the mid-year budget review, one of the big things they push on us is like, what's your process for requesting money from the state? And are you making sure? So it's always funny because I'm like, you're not allowing us to do that, and we can't follow our process that you want us to follow. And that's a huge area that we've started spending money on as of July 7th. So that's big. And then right now, we are, for curriculum, we are in the middle of reviewing ELA curriculums for K-5. So all of our teachers have reviewed a number of different curriculums, and then they came down based on those surveys and results, they came down to 2 curriculums that they were looking at. So right now we're between HMH, which is into reading, and then we're also looking at McGraw-Hill, which is Wonders. They are rated extremely high. They're reviewing the programs. We actually sent teachers out last week. They went to Swedesboro, Woolwich, and were able to actually go into classrooms and observe the programs getting implemented and kind of ask the teachers who are doing the programs currently, what's working, what do you like, what's not going well. As I told you, the outline for that is that hopefully we will have a decision by March in terms of which curriculum we are going with, and hopefully we will start receiving materials in prior to the end of the year. In January, I'm like, when's our PD day? February 13th, right? Yeah. I'm like, wait. February 13th is our PD day. We actually have both companies coming in, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Teachers are like, are they going to battle? Will they see each other? Are they presenting in front of each other? And they will be doing like a day in the life, taking everyone through like a 1-hour presentation on all aspects of the program, all things that are included, and our teachers have been putting together all of their questions, all of their concerns, so that way all of those can get answered prior to that meeting so we can make the most informed decision. This is the year that we are looking at ELA. Next year, our teachers have been saying that they want a new ELA curriculum now for, I'd say a year solid, that they've been saying that they want that. Math will be the following year that we will look at that. And most of the programs that we purchase have anywhere from 1 to 5-year contracts that you have to go with. And a lot of that is because they include an online component as well. So we always want to look to see what the savings is. And then for me, many of the companies want that purchase to be made in year 1. And my big thing is always working with each vendor to see how we can spread it out over the course of multiple school years. So usually, if I'm able to start purchases this year and get the materials in before the end of the year, I can pay. Now, I can pay July 1, and I can pay the following July 1, which will allow me to spread that money out over the course of 3 budget years. So that way, you're not paying that one large sum for your K-5 curriculum in just one step. So that's one of the things that, of course, we always have to take into consideration. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with the state right now, just in terms of all of their new online programs that they're trying to implement. There's a lot of issues with those programs. We have a lot of false messages going out saying certain things weren't submitted, and then 48 hours later, we're getting a message going, that message went out by error, please ignore it, as we're trying to like scour the system of like, what did we do incorrectly? So that's kind of ongoing, and that's all I have right now. Does anyone have any questions for me on the business office or curriculum? Okay. Do we have any questions on any district reports? You see the principal's report is there, nurses, building and grounds, special education. Do we have any reports for PTA or any of our committee reports?
We did have a holiday night, but we went well. Sam was here, the crafts.
The Grinch was walking the hallways. And that was a holiday cookie night, I think, right?
Yeah.
Crafts. Very nicely. Anyone else? I know that this month is kind of short because it is a holiday, so I know a lot of things are starting back up in January. Okay, moving on to new business. Property and transportation. Can I have a motion and a second for items 1 through 3?
I'll make a motion for items 1 through 3.
I'll second.
Motion made by Lindsay Davies, second by Barb Sands. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davey?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Sands?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under personnel, can I get a motion and a second for items 1 through 7? And you'll see that items 6 and 7 were added. No, it was just something so we can.
Sam's got it.
I get it now. I have a 7th grader. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion. Second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Lisa Brown, second by Melissa Warner. Any questions? Roll call. Ms. Davey?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Sands?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under finance, I need a motion for items 1 through 10.
I'll make a motion for items 1 through 10 and finance. Second.
Motion made by Barb Sands, second by Lisa O'Brien. You will see 8, 9, and 10 were both added. Number 10, we just added the acknowledgement of the annual comprehensive financial report, which is what I went over in the initial presentation. Any questions? Roll call, Ms. Davey?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Sands?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under curriculum, I need a motion and a second for items 1 through 3.
I'll make a motion for items 1 through 3 under curriculum.
I'll second.
Motion made by Marie Panzarella, second by Lindsay Davey. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davey?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Sands?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under policy and public relations, I need a motion and a second for items 1 through 4.
I'll make a motion for items 1 through 4.
Motion made by Marie Panzarella. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second made by Lisa O'Brien. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davey?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Sands?
Yes.
Motion passes. There is no, recognition of citizens and staff on non-agenda items. Do we have any comments for non-agenda items? Okay.
As a borough employee and a helper of the tree lighting ceremony, not enough thanks can be given to Ms. Breslin and all of her students who attended. It was by far the most attended tree lighting in this town. And hopefully, going forward, there will be a much better working relationship with the school and having those willing to attend. None of those kids were forced, and they all had a great time. It was awesome. It was incredible. The mayor spoke about it. spoke about it again today. It was absolutely incredible.
It was raining too, right?
It was,
That night, and they-
well, it stopped raining, but it was very chilly. It was not a night when people wanted to come out.
But they
And
still did. And that's- yeah.
it was absolutely incredible.
Make sure we let her know.
Please do.
If I could add as well, just to let the board know, Coffee Club is this Friday for anyone who is attending them.
Anyone else? Okay, there is no need for executive session this evening. Our next Board of Education meeting is our reorganization meeting on January 5th, 2026, which will be located here at 6:30. And do I have a motion for adjournment? Motion made by Lily Davy, do I have a second? By Vanzarella, all in favor? Meeting's adjourned at 6:51.